Live from Los Angeles, it's time for the main event of the evening. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, the WBC champion entering the ring wearing gold trunks with white trim. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada by way of Cleveland, Ohio. He weighed in at the welterweight limit of 147 pounds. His record stands at 30 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw with 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight in his 7th world title appearance, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2-time welterweight title holder and the current distinguished, reigning, and defending WBC welterweight champion of the world, introducing Showtime, Shawn Potter. And his opponent across the ring in the blue corner, the IBF champion, wearing black trunks with white trim, fighting out of it representing Dallas, Texas. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 147 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with a record of 25 wins, no losses, 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing our third man to the ring now to give instructions, Jack Reese.
Who's coming? Derek coming? Got your mouthpiece in? Mouthpiece? Derek, Kenny? They're right both at the line. He just shoved them down. They're going to come up. I'm going to let them work in here. Okay? I gave you both instructions. I just want to remind you, please listen and follow my instructions at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Fight hard. Fight clean. Good luck to you.
So final instructions there from the referee. And the time is very nearly upon us. This is what we live for as boxing fans. You've got to love a unification. This kind of high-profile fight pay-per-view in the United States. And a packed welterweight division and 2 of its top names here. Errol Spence Jr., the IBF champion. Shawn Potter, the WBC champion. The build-up has been engaging. It's been entertaining. But now that ring is clear.
You ready?
And these 2 will go at it. 12 rounds, all less. Porter in the gold, boxing out of the orthodox stance. Spence, the southpaw, in the black and grey. Porter just bouncing on the balls of his feet. Spence taking centering. Porter happy just to pull around him. Both just out of range at the moment, having a look at each other. Nobody really willing to commit just yet. Spence pecks with that jab. Porter feints. Early stages are often like this.
Yeah, they're both just looking to settle down, get the position in and get the range. Got a battle of the orthodox against the southpaw. Porter's got to get used to that southpaw stance and figure him out.
Yeah, and Spence will be aware that Porter is good at covering the canvas. When he does decide to close the distance, he comes in quite quickly, so he'll be wary of that.
And right on cue, Porter looks to do exactly that just there. Springs forward, slightly ungainly. Spence just able to take his feet back.
I think a little left bolo shot is a shot that Spence...
Just about Spence, when you've watched him up until this point, is that he does look to build into the fight, find that jab, find that range, then look for the 1-2. Porter trying to get on top of him early here.
Yeah, you know, Spence is the type of fighter, he backs you up behind the southpaw jab, the double jab, the straight left hand, and he methodically breaks you down as the fight goes on. Doesn't waste anything, really economical, not just with his punches, but even with his movement, he doesn't waste anything. There's that straight left to the body.
and then just moves away to his right, just trying to cover Porter as he was sliding away towards the corner. Short right hand on the inside, then Spence letting go with the left.
Stop.
That got home, I think.
Relax.
Porter just springing up from the crouch himself, looking to try and unload right to the body there.
Spencer's adjusting his feet really well as Porter raids in.
You see Spence there, always looking for that little half step back. He's trying to walk in. Then as you come, just that half step back.
Hey, give me a towel.
So this is a corner of Errol Spence Jr., the IBF welterweight champion, led by Derek James. And his dad in there as well. Not too much in that opening round, not a great deal of clean work done by either one of them. It was Spence with that flurry as he got Porter backed up towards the ropes. He probably got through with the slightly cleaner work there. For the first 3 minutes of a fight at this level, often not an enormous amount happens because neither wants to really commit.
What Spence is so good at, Andy, he's edging forward, pressuring you, triggering you to lead up, and then he just takes that half step back, brings you onto that left uppercut to the body, or head, right hook upstairs as well. But you see him he's like an aggressive counter puncher at times. He's not always counter punching. Sometimes he'll initiate, he'll lead up behind the jab.
Oh, nice left hand.
If there's that left hand, that half step again, he's always looking for that little half step. As you fall in and overreach, he makes you pay.
Well, Porter was looking for a wide right hand there, wasn't he? And Spence came back with a straight shot, and geometry tells you that the straight shot will land before the one that comes arcing in. But that's what Porter has to do, isn't it? He has to do it in as educated a fashion as he can, but he's got to try and get onto the inside.
Oh, good left hand again.
Yeah, that's a good shot down the middle.
Spencer's starting to get his timing on that left hand. That's 2 or 3 left hands that he's landed this round.
Porter trying to jab his way in there, then looking for the right hand. He didn't quite reach, and Porter now has just got Spence a little bit off balance there.
There was a good body shot there that Spence landed on Porter, but
well, Porter just dipping low at the waist there, and Spence just trying to bring him onto that left hand, and this is just beginning to catch fire a bit in the second round, into the final minute of it.
So Spence got really good feet, really good control of distance. It just takes those little half steps out of distance. He can still hit you. You overshoot it, you overreach, you fall in a little bit. He's out of range, but he's close enough that he can get back in and counter you.
Porter happy there just to back up to the corner. Again, just comes forward, just walks forward behind his hands there, but moving straight onto the shoulder of Spence made it quite difficult for him to counter it. And again, it's Spence just shuffling forward there, trying to put the pressure on. Porter does well to turn his man in the corner.
Underneath.
Yeah, good body shot from Spence, and I like the way he rolls out and gets out into the middle of the ring.
Good left hand there from Porter though, as he moves in, final few seconds of round 2.
Yeah, what Porter does well is he stays on the outside, he feints, he jinks, he makes out he's going to come, he doesn't come, and then when he does decide to come, he really commits to it, and he comes with everything, he covers the canvas quickly, he's got good feet, and if he, someone like Spence who likes that half step, who tries to walk you onto it, the good thing about Porter is he'll fall in on top of you, at least won't get countered.
Yeah, but you see, even
Spence
there,
very good at doing it.
Porter's got him on the inside then, and Spence nullified it and caught him with a left uppercut himself to the body. He's the one that is having the better exchanges on the inside.
Yeah, the good thing about Spence, not only does he walk you onto it, but when he backs you up, he throws it straight into the body, which is a really good shot too.
You got hit low because you pulled his head down. Don't pull his head down. You all right?
Well, you heard the explanation from the referee, Jack Reese, there, that Porter got hit low because he pulled Spence's head down. He looked uncomfortable there, Porter, as he was just being forced back towards the ropes, just trying to lash out with that jab. circling Spence.
Body shots, that left uppercut to the body. That one looked a little low, but generally speaking, that left uppercut to the body is a really good shot for Spence.
Look, he's got him falling all over the place here.
Well, Porter used to come forward, did find him with the right hand, but it was Spence who hit him with 3 foot. But Porter didn't complain. That again looks a bit low from Spence. Well, the referee having the word there with Spence about some low blows, and I'm thinking that,
you know what I mean, where you're going to get caught, then you don't want to be there.
You change your mind.
Yeah, don't change your mind. If you come in, you've got to come, you've got to commit to it.
And this is just the latest in the welterweight unification between WBC champion Shawn Potter there and Errol Spence Jr. across the ring, the IBF champion. And an interesting third round. Referee Jack Reese did eventually have a chat with Spence about some low blows, but I think he could have given Porter a bit more protection there myself.
Yeah, but you know what? I think Porter threw the first low blow. He threw a right hand when he backed Spence up to the ropes. And Spence is the kind of guy, if you're going to hit him low, he's going to give it you back. It's a dogfight. And
I think it's just one of those fights. It's been fought at a high intensity, high pace. You are going to get a few shots that stray a little low, and it's happening for both guys.
They're good shots from Porter.
Yeah, that was a good right hook from Porter.
Right hook, left up to the body, and then right hands over to the top.
And this is good work from Porter. Good left hand there. Definitely found the target. Just before that, he was looking for the straight right hand. He found good range there. He was exactly where he needed to be. Didn't shut his own space down. Had the room to work. And he is making Spence work here and work really hard. Now tries to impose that physical strength, just leaning on, centering. Good right hand there on the inside again. And once again, he gets through, moves onto the shoulder of Spence, who just chops down with his left hand. And this is what Porter brings. This is what we know he brings. Spence, though, answering back with a left.
You see, Spence isn't being... that's a
big
good left hand.
Good left hand there from Spence, and that just rocked him back onto his heels. But Porter again just comes forward. It's a little bit crude at times, but he's having success here.
You can imagine this is the kind of fight. This is where Shawn Porter wants it. You know he's not going to stand back and win this fight at range against Errol Spence, but up close, fast pace, high intensity, few low blows, some shots landing round the back. It's a dogfight, and that's the kind of fight that Shawn Porter needs it to be.
Spence needs to just get it back to where he just drops back off the step, makes him overreach, and then he can fire the body shots, and then he can stand on the inside, not just engage straight away on the inside like this toe to toe. He needs to pick his moments when he wants to stand on the inside.
Nice left to the body there from Spence off the back of a left to the head, but Porter has had plenty of success so far in this round and entering the final minute of it.
Yeah, this is a good round for Shawn Porter. He'll be really happy with this, because not only is he winning the round, but the fight is becoming the kind of fight that he wants. He wants it to be a dog fight.
Into the fifth, quickly to the centre of the ring. Porter, like more on that front foot, tries to jab in, throws the right hand. Spence just backs off.
Spence has got to be first with that jab again.
Good uppercut from Porter.
Stop! My break. Let each other go.
Spence was just trying to jab his way in, and Porter timed it with that right to the body as he was moving in.
Again, Porter lands a nice left hand there.
Spence just short with the left himself. Porter just ran right a couple of times.
Good defence from Spence for me. Turned him and then made him miss with a follow-up attack.
Made him miss by an absolute whisker, but that is the idea.
And the more that Porter misses, the more tired he's going to get, because the amount of effort they puts into each attack.
I think they're both going to get tired. I mean, this is a hot pace. This is intense stuff, and this is the kind of fight that Shawn Porter wants it to be. He doesn't want to stand back and box with Errol Spence. He needs to be physical, up close, rough, tough. Even this clinching here now, this is all draining in a fight. But this is the kind of fight that's going to suit Shawn Porter more than it's going to suit Errol Spence.
Spence, though, doing a good job at times of making Porter miss, and the kind of fighter that he is, Porter. You're not going to break his heart by hitting him. You're going to break it by making him miss, and he just catches him on the inside there. Spencer Porter was just leaning in, trying to come forward.
I mean, Porter at times is so fired up, and his pressure is so relentless, and he really commits to it when he does come in. He covers that canvas so quickly, falls in on top of Errol Spence, and his determination and his physical strength.
The way
it's causing Errol Spence problems.
The way he just escaped from the ropes and turned him, got Spence against the ropes and caught him with a beautiful left uppercut to the ribs. That was class.
It'll be interesting to see when if the pace slows down at all, and if it's for that long range a little bit more, how much more Spence will start to take over there. Because I don't know if this pace can be kept up for how long you can kept up.
All that, it all takes its toll on you.
And that's good again from Porter, just turning Spence and then just using that right hand to the body. Each one on the way in there, Porter, but again he just looks to try and roll forward, and he's doing what everybody said he needed to do, which is make Spence work for every single second, make him work when he doesn't want to work.
Good right hand from Porter. That was a nice short right hand as he come in.
Oh, there's a lot of good work from both men here. There's a lot of good body shots, a lot of good head shots.
Off we go, WBC champion Shawn Porter in the white and gold, IBF champion Errol Spence Jr. in the black and grey. There's a unification in what is a hot division, an entertaining division, one in which there are plenty of good fights to be made.
This is certainly living up to expectations. Every round, action-packed, epic and flowing, switching from one side to the other. Spence looks like he's on top, then Porter comes back firing shots.
Porter looking to jab his way in there, was just slightly short, then looking to attack the body here and does so fairly successfully. Left uppercut up the middle there. Spence just trying to bob and weave and stay out of the way.
Yeah, good work there from Porter. When he wants to get up and breathe, now this is where Spence needs to step on him, back him up behind that double jab, drive that straight left down the middle. But instead, Porter comes back with a good double jab right hand.
Yeah, Spence is waiting too long.
That was a good jab from Porter, just flicked it up from the waist.
It's good work from Porter. I think Spence is struggling with the disc from Porter.
And because he can't read his rhythms.
Yeah,
Porter's so hard to read. Once he gets in that groove, it's so hard to read.
You know, he's out of distance and all of a sudden he's in on top of you. He's very good at, when he closes that distance, he really comes, doesn't he? Spence is normally a master at giving you that little feint, taking that half step back, walking you into that no-man's zone and catching you, but Porter's not really buying that.
To be fair, which is what Spence did earlier in the first couple of rounds, but it's Porter that's adjusted really well. And that'll be the experience of fighting at top level, you know, with the amount of fights that he's had, with the guys that he's been in with. That'll be the experience that's kicked in. He's the man that's been able to adjust.
And also, I don't think Spence has ever been forced to fight at this kind of intensity before either.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. The first half of that fight against Kell Brook was as rough as he's had it in his career up until this point. As I was saying, he went 12 in his last fight against Mikey Garcia.
But that
fight is not comparable to this in any way.
No, he's already worked harder in these 6 rounds than he did in the whole 12 against Mikey Garcia.
And Porter is so hard to prepare for because nobody else does it like him. People just look there, good body shots, and then good shots over the top. It's a really good attack.
He's so fired up, so determined.
People just see him as rough and tough, but they don't give him the credit for how he drops his head off the side, how he throws his head and his handle comes after the head. You know, the angles that he gives and the feet that he's got. People don't give him the credit
good body shot.
Right hand to the body, followed by the left hand upstairs, and it's been an interesting round this, because with a minute to go, Porter was just looking to try and tie Spence up a little bit and maybe just nick a bit of a breather, but then, particularly one at this level, at this kind of pace, this kind of intensity, plotting your way through it, knowing when to try and take your foot off the gas and maybe have a little bit of a rest. That can be important. It's about having that experience to navigate, and there's plenty that can happen yet. Porter has had some good rounds recently. Spence just sliding away to his left hand side.
I mean, Shawn Porter is literally like a bull, isn't he? When he rushes across to close that distance, he gets in on top of Spence, and then if he misses, he falls in on top.
That's
he makes
a good
That's a good body shot. That's a good body shot for Spence. That's what he needs to do. Back Porter up on the double jab. Look at that straight left. Great shot.
Good short left hand. He just walked him onto that one. He was coming forward, Porter, as it made contact.
They're good body shots as well.
Spence having a better round here in the opening minute of it.
This is better from Spence.
Well, he spent the first half a minute taking away Porter's attack. He got his little half steps back, got his little half steps and his jabs back counters, and then you see him start going to work. Much better work.
And it all came from behind the double jab. Get that jab going. Straight left comes down the middle. Shawn Porter is someone that's difficult to control at range because he closes the distance so quickly. He just comes in on top of you, and it's up. Errol Spence is always used to, everyone he fights, he's comfortably able to control the distance. He's got great feet, he's got a brilliant half step, he's got a beautiful, someone like Shawn Porter, that's a lot more difficult. That's better for Spence.
He's having a good round here. Oh, that's a good right hand.
Decent right hand there from Porter. Left hand on the inside there from Spence as well, though. And the right hand as they do fire. Moses, every time you get the feeling that one of them might just be about to take control of it or have a really sustained spell of pressure, of success, then the other one just finds something, finds an answer.
I've got Spence one round up.
Well, this is what it's all about. 4 rounds to go into round 9. Just opening out for that left hand to the body there, Porter. Didn't manage to land it, trying to get back on a more orthodox double jab. He just timed the jab of Spence nicely there, Porter.
Beautiful. So many of these kind of fights, elite level fights, are decided in this last quarter, this last third.
Conditioning is going to be so important now. This has been a fast-paced fight. It's been high intensity. There's been clinching. There's been good body shots landed. So both men will be feeling the pace here. It's very important now to stay technically good. Don't get ragged. Don't make mistakes.
Oh, good right hand from Porter. Just after the left hand from Spencer knocked him off balance a little bit, back onto his heels, didn't really hurt him. Left uppercut on the inside there from Porter. Nice little bit of variety when he needed it. Let's go with that right hand, kind of overhand right, then just move straight onto the shoulder midway through round 9. Succession of jabs there from Porter, just falling short.
But he's having the better of the exchange in this round.
Spence lands a good right hand on the inside there, but again it's Porter who's just working that little bit harder.
Stop. When you're down on you, don't be punched. Go hold it like that, you know.
Left hand landed from Spence, but then the left hand landed from Porter. They're just trading on the inside.
Oh!
And again there, both landing right hands. Left hand there from Spence. And these two just engaging toe to toe in the centre of the ring. And this is unbelievable stuff. Right hand there again is to dip down to his left and slip that shot. Porter turns it, pushes him back towards the ropes. The referee, who's done a good job of letting this relentless pressure, and Spence just has to try and find inches, millimetres even, to give himself enough room to work and catch him on the way in. But Porter again, left hand there though, landed by Spence, and just leaning on shoulder to shoulder.
Stop.
I actually think Spence is having a lot of success when he stands his ground, stays nice and tight defensively, and works the body, loops them underneath, and then finishes up with the right hook upstairs.
He is, but it's taking a lot out of him, and it's giving the impression of the fight is that this is Porter's fight, and this is what we're used to seeing Porter doing all the time. It looks like Porter's the one that's in control and imposing his will. This is good work from Errol Spence. It's ebbs and flows. It's one man's having top side, then the next man.
Well, Spence there just managed to find good distance. He had Porter backed up, and Porter had dropped those elbows. He was looking to cover up, and Spence was able to let him go. Right hand there looked a bit low to me from Porter, and Spence fires back with a right hand, pretty much bang on the belt.
Stop, my break.
Referee gets in and breaks him there. Jack Reese, and this has been a sensational watch so far, heading into the final minute of round 10, and for once they just stand off each other for 3-4 seconds, but there's barely been any more respite than that. Jab to the body there from Porter. Spence looking to try and time it with his left hand. Massive big right hand from Porter, swung from way back, and Spence saw that one coming.
But you can see that Spence is tired because he missed by miles there, and Spence didn't even attempt to try and throw a counter.
The hedge is coming together on the inside.
Good shots.
A little stutter step there from Porter, and Spence threw a left hand straight down the middle. And Porter working on the inside as the bell goes, and the crowd on their feet. The obvious fight would be to have the winner of this against Pacquiao in a further unification, but this is a kind of fight that we may well be seeing this again before too long, and I would not complain.
No, definitely not. I mean, I said beforehand I could see these fighting again in a year, 2 years. Yeah, I'd love to see a rematch of this. This has been a fantastic fight, and it's so close, so competitive. Every round's hard to score.
Well, Shawn Potter certainly making a mockery of the odds beforehand.
Yeah, they were just ridiculous.
Whether you've got Porter winning or losing, I don't think anyone could see this wide either way. It's such a close fight.
Spence just falling short with the jab, then through the left hand, and moves in again now, and Porter turns him on the ropes. He's done that really well a few times in the fight so far. He's never allowed himself to get pinned. Let's rip with a big left uppercut. Solid right hand, short right hand there from Porter. Spence takes it well, but he's just putting the shoulder in there. Porter right to the body there from Spence.
I think Errol Spence is shocked that Shawn Porter's still there. I genuinely think that before the fight, he thought by now he'll have got him out of there.
It's good work from Spence, backing Porter up behind the jab, and then Porter just turns him, gets him up against the ropes. The will to win from Shawn Porter is unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, good right hands there though from Spence. One off the ropes, and then he just pirouetted away to his left and landed another one. And those are the kinds of exchanges really that the fight has been all about, and just picking out those single shots from each fighter. What has landed, what hasn't landed, whose has landed cleaner, whose has done more damage. It's almost impossible to calculate, but there Spence pulls one out.
What a shot!
Porter touches down, and that could be absolutely huge, and it's writ large almost all over Shawn Porter's face there. At this stage of the fight, that could be absolutely massive, and Spence looking to let go with the left hand. Porter trying to unleash with a right of his own. Spence just digging in his toes and swinging. Both of them just standing in front of each other and letting their hands go, and the crowd responding to it. Incredible stuff from both of these two.
Shawn Porter is one tough man.
I know.
Heart of a lion.
It was more frustrated when he got up, weren't he?
Right hand there from Porter as they just collapse into each other into the final 10 seconds of round 11. And just a little bit of quality there from Spence, and maybe
this big shot from Spence
could do it for him. Wow. Bell goes at the end of the round, and I don't know how they've got the energy to still be on their feet. And